So the next couple of quests are going to require us to have our equipment situation in order, so here's some equipment. Weird skates have got an extra dash and an ability that gives you more power if you've just dashed, which is, well, that could be fun. Ancient sandals, I think we've seen these, have got balance, if you want to spam stuff. And the disciple gloves have got royal guard on them, which just makes it easier to do a perfect guard. I'm honestly a fan of them. Also, references. It had to be done. Now, do you like explosions?
I mean, does anybody not like explosions?
That's a valid point. Do you specifically like killing stuff with explosions?
That can go a couple different ways.
Now, unfortunately, the particular cross-section of murder and explosion that we're going to be dealing with today is the kind that could backfire on us if done carelessly. So I guess there's that. I think I did mention earlier that the bombs in this game actually do scale damage based on your stats. So us being on a higher level is pretty much not going to prevent us from having to worry a bit about not blowing ourselves up.
You know, quests always start well when the first thing you get told is, "Where the fuck have you been? Took you long enough."
Yeah. Canonically, we're like always the first seeker on the job, and the only seeker on the job, and always just in the nick of time. That's MMO writing. Anyway, this arena has a gimmick, in that it's got these barriers up everywhere, and getting past this barrier is a little bit of a pain. You gotta remember that you're gonna have to deal with that window. Here's the guys that we're gonna be dealing with. You might remember the bugs from the cave, from Temple Mine. These are not those. These guys...
These are their big brothers, I presume.
Something like that. I don't know about big brothers, but the deal is that they are not vulnerable to fire. I mean, like, you can set them on fire, that's still as tactically sound a proposition as ever, but the mine guys take like 400% damage from fire, whereas these guys are only vulnerable to being stunned. And guess what? The only way to stun them is... So yeah, this is kind of sort of a tower defense scenario, I guess, if you want to get technical about it. Not that it matters very much, but... Anyway, each of these rocks has a bug under it, and you could play this safe if you want. You could get strictly one bug at a time and make sure to get them all dead. Or you could just invite them all up at once and have a party.
I was gonna say, that sounds like coward talk.
We both know that there is only one true play here.
Also, I just feel like this would be, like, infinitely easier for exactly the reason that you just showed.
Yeah, you can get, like, a bunch of them in a single hit, and you can just clean them all up. They're scary, but they're not that much of a threat. You just gotta keep on top of things, I guess. Anyway, when there's only a couple left, you can just fight them normally. I mean, if you really want, you can fight all of them normally. There's nothing stopping you. You can just get good and deal with it. But, well, it's nice to play along with the game sometimes. Here's a box of bug shit. And here's a surprise extra wave. Naturally, it starts you off in the pit with some bugs, and you have to actually get back up to the bombs. So that's nice. Hope you remembered about the gap, because that can get really annoying if you don't. Anyway, here's how you actually notionally defend this position. You can shoot bombs down into the pit, and there's that one bomb that's floating on a platform that you can use to hit the bugs in front of the first barrier. Up to the top you can see there's another bomb that we can use to defend the second barrier, but that's surprisingly difficult to do.
Once again, it feels like if they reach that far, you should probably just not bother and let them all come to you.
Yeah. I usually consider it that, yeah, once they get past the first barrier, they're getting up to you. And yeah, eventually it starts spawning them directly on you, and you have to deal with, well, all of this while also trying to defend it. It's honestly quite satisfying to, like, solve this properly and to manage to actually do a full defense without ever letting them get up to you, but it's also very fun to just let them get up to you and fight them normally. Like, what do you want? It's win-win. These cowardly developers made a game that's fun both ways.
You gave me all of these explosives, and then you were like, now don't let any of them get to you! When all I want is a bigger explosion.
I mean, we're using explosives whether or not we let them get to us. But yeah.
Right, but why would you blow up one of them when you could blow up 10 of them? I'm just saying.
I mean, that's very valid. That is a perfectly valid observation. I'm not gonna refute it. I'm just saying, it's all good. Every single way that you can play this quest is good. This is a good quest. Video games. Good times. Good times.
Can't believe they didn't give us another chest that had more bug shit in it.
I mean, that would have been spiteful. This game is many things, but it isn't spiteful. Now, you might think that the guy in this room might have something different to say for the work that we've just done, but he doesn't. What is the point of that guy? There is no point to that guy. Not like McEdenville. He's good. Yeah, you can just have this. Feel free to poke it as much as you like. So yeah, we will be back here at some point. We will do even more bug exploding. But not just yet. It's going to take them a while to get properly ready for us. Anyway, I bought a bubble belt. We can now have... I mean, I'm not going to, but I'm pretty sure we could now have like 120-something% health regen. If we wanted. Here's our actual stat spread. As you can see, I'm going for a slightly defensive, mostly range kind of a build. Eventually I'm going to add some shooter and some scope to this. Honestly, the thing with these is that there's... like more or less everything else here, there isn't a wrong way to do it. You can have a bunch of range modifiers and play a melee game if you want. Somehow, whatever you do, the game will always find a way to roll with it. And I love that about it.
Yeah, I was definitely a very melee-centric build. So...
like, it is kind of mind-boggling, the number of options that you have. Like, equipment, and your skill tree, and your strategy. And the skill tree is in 5 different circuit boards eventually. And there's options within options within options. It's kind of staggering to think about coming up with a build in this game sometimes. I absolutely love it. Anyway, this looked like it was going to be a simple quest, but actually she wants 4 different things from 4 different corners of the game. And it's going to require us to actually go ahead to Maroon Valley to come and finish this, so let's just put this on ice for now. Figuratively and literally.
I was gonna say, that quest was almost a little too... accidentally too real there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not to date this production or anything, but yeah. Incidentally, we can get literally exactly 3 Metal Gears right there. That was a chest that I passed up earlier, and also that was the actual way to get to that chest rather than the weird glitch jump that I did. Anyway, remember that the guard in Bergen and his goat?
I mean, how could you forget the goat thief?
I mean, to be fair to him, I don't think that he stole the goat. I mean, other than that, he took it back from us when we went to go and investigate it, but yeah. Also, before we do that, let's go and actually deal with this cave, now that we've got the fire technique to deal with it. This is... well, it says exactly what it looks like. Although it does have a... there's kind of a sting to this one, which we'll see in just a second. It's the kind of complete dick move that puts you in awe of the developers. So yes, there is a chest over there. How do we get to it? What do we jump on?
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah. So what you'll probably do when you go and you come into this cave is you will probably melt all of the icicles, and they don't regrow. So this puzzle appears to be impossible when you look at it. But actually, there's a very viable thing to jump on. You just have to not melt all of the icicles. And then you have to platform on them. And I don't know why... like, did that look weird to you?
I don't think you actually jumped. It looked like you just slid straight across them.
Like, what's with that? That looks like that should be a jump. Anyway, I love and hate that room. Here's a level 2 art. It's going to be kind of a thing to actually do one of these because most of the time we're not going to be in combat long enough to build up 3 skill points, but if we ever do, we can absolutely ruin one enemy's day with that little combo. And yeah, we have fire now, so, well, we can take the fight to this moment a little bit. It's very satisfying. As you can probably imagine, fire is pretty effective against the enemies of Bergen Trail.
I was gonna say, for a second there I wasn't sure where you were going with that, because, like, it seemed like the logical conclusion of that was gonna be, as you can guess, fire is pretty effective against goats, and I was gonna be like, I don't know about that one, actually.
I mean, fire isn't specifically very effective against these goats. But most of the time, being in an element is usually an upgrade over not being in an element, so fire is still helpful, even when it's not a specific weakness that you're hitting. Anyway, surprise goat upgrade. I'm gonna keep trying for a couple tries to do the level 2 melee art. It's gonna take a while to get it, so get used to me charging up and then realizing I only actually have 2.9 skill points. It's a riot. Here's another mini dungeon. The gimmick, such as it is we have to kill all these goats. There's not really any difference between these guys and the regular goats outside, they're just a bit tougher. I don't think they have any unique attacks.
No, these ones shoot fire instead of the horns.
No.
If you watch them.
There is that. Oh yeah.
It's functionally identical, but yeah.
Yeah, it is very much the same attack. Although does the fire even bounces around, although it doesn't boomerang back to them like the regular goat horns do, so I guess that's something. If anything, I think that makes it a little bit easier to deal with.
Yeah, boomerang attacks are always really weird to deal with.
It's like I said, the regular goats are one of the few enemies in the game that has a actually pretty solid way of hurting you when they're stunned. These ones just, like, go down. So, okay, maybe these ones do have one slightly different attack. They can throw bombs at you.
You know, as goats do.
Yeah. Unlike the bugs and a couple enemies in the mine, hitting them with a bomb blast doesn't immediately break them, but it does put them in a stun state. And if you hit them while they're in that will break them. In fact, now I think about it, it is almost identical to the pressure stagger system from Final Fantasy VII Remake. Total rip-off.
I cannot believe that Square would be a coward like that. Just stealing this game's hard work.
Anyway, this fight ends on, I guess you can call this a puzzle, kind of. It's a little bit overwrought, but what?
It's cute.
I guess. There's it going off balance, by the way.
Yeah, you know, get the goat to shoot the thing for you is... It's fine.
Yeah, classic. The old goat bomb routine. Anyway, here's an actual puzzle. Now you can, I think, if you're really quick, shoot the bomb with fire onto the bridge and then hit the switch when it goes past the barrier. I think that's technically possible, but you're much better advised to do it this way. And then, of course, you have to figure out how to get the chest. It's pretty much the same thing in a different direction. Also, it's curiously difficult to hit that switch on the bridge. I don't know why they made it like that. Then again, it's CrossCode, so we know why. So, this seems normal.
Can't believe he gave the goats nanomachines.
So yeah, there's not really a whole lot that's immediately interesting about this fight, other than that it's the one where I'm finally going to get to use the level 2 tech, but that's just a detail. Mostly it's just a fight against 3 goats. Here we go. This makes a very big number come out of stuff.
And as we all know, big number is the only true measure that you should ever strive for. The most important one of all.
Comparable only to bigger numbers of numbers. That's also a classic. Anyway, the fight turns into a complete clusterfuck at this point, because there's 2 bombs on the field, there's a bunch of goats that can kick the bombs at you, and the goat father himself will also just periodically throw even more bombs, and sometimes the bombs will hit other bombs, and it's just like... It's exactly the correct kind of carnage.
You know, like we said, it's bigger number. It's bigger number by way of more number.
It's a good time. Like the bug quest, pretty much however this goes is always a good time. Like, I don't think it's possible for this fight to be boring, but there's a lot of different ways that it can go.
So is this guy considered what happens when the goat decides that actually he doesn't give a shit? And because, you know, as goats are wont to do?
I think it's quite apparent that he has not. Any questions? Good. So that all just happened. And they said this game couldn't do voice acting. We laughed. We laughed at them. But what did we know? What did we know about anything?
I don't really know what to say to that.
So yeah, as it turns out, there is like a bunch of actual writing in Crossworlds, and the Crossworlds quests all have kind of a theme to them. There's like stuff in this MMO, and it's actually good. And you know what? You can live.
I can't believe that you're not going to just immediately betray the big goat.
I know better. Yeah, this seems like a good idea. He couldn't possibly have survived that.
I'm sorry, did I read goat activists?